most of us know John Sadler, but for those of us who don't, John Sadler is a prescribed fire manager for the Florida Forest Service, a position he has held since 2005. His primary responsibilities include administering the Certified Prescribed Burn Manager program and promoting the benefits of prescribed fire as a management tool. Also serves on the steering committee for the North Florida Prescribed Fire Council and the National Interagency Prescribed Fire Training Center. John began his career doing forest inventory in Maine and Alaska, and he moved to Florida in 1997 as a state lands forester. He has a degree in forestry resources management from Southern Illinois University. Let's welcome John. It might just take us a second to figure out this audio. Sorry. I think we're good. And all Marinelle needed was a second. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Zach, you should do the raffle after the break to get people to sit down instead of before.
Well, there is one at the very end of the day for the biggest money item.
Okay. All right, very good. Good morning, everybody. I'm John Sadler, and don't worry, I'm going to get us back on track, I think, for the schedule. This is a Forest Service update. There's not a whole lot of new things to go for me to talk about, so they should be pretty quick. So if you see my presentation, this is very similar. Talk about the burning numbers for the previous year. We got a schedule of classes for the certified burner training that are coming up starting in about a month. Give a brief description or talk about a prescribed burning program, enhancement program this year, and just some regular burn review things that I covered. So, sorry, Rick, some of us count acres. And y'all are doing a really good job. You know, give yourselves a hand. So what this is, these are authorizations. This is on a fiscal year basis, so from June to July each year, and this is a 20-year average. And you know, pretty soon it's going to be 20 years I've been doing this stuff, this same job, so that'd be kind of a weird time for me. But so yeah, to me the takeaway from this is, you know, I'm not sure of the numbers, but I'm sure the population in Florida is a lot more now than it was 20 years ago. And so for us to be able to maintain these numbers, you know, with increasing population, there's new highways going in, you know, I think that's a really good metric for us to use is how much we're authorizing to burn. And like I said, you're all doing a really good job with that, so keep it up. This is the schedule of classes that are coming up for certified burner training. I probably should have scratched out, I believe the West Palm Beach and the Willaca class, or I'm sorry, the Apopka class are both full. And the deadline to sign up for the Jacksonville class is today. So if you want to send somebody to Jacksonville, today's the deadline to sign up for that. Also, I had some folks asking me earlier, there is also a certified pile burning class coming up in December. It's a virtual class, December 5th and 6th. So if anybody needs to get the certified pile burner, you can go to our website and sign up for that. I got a missing slide. So the slide that's missing is our prescribed fire enhancement program slide. It's a program I've been doing now for I think 6 or 7 years, and it's some money that we get as an agency and we distribute out to other agencies to help them enhance their burning program. You know, this year we've got a lot of money. I got as much money this year as I have had in the previous 5 years combined. So so we're doing things a little different. I know with the Park Service and Swanee River Water Management, we're doing 2-year contracts instead of our usual 1 year. What was happening with our 1-year contracts is there was a gap. So the contracts wouldn't get into place until like October, November, and then they were over by May or June. So there's that gap in the summer that they couldn't do anything. So hopefully with this 2-year time frame on the projects, we'll be able to get it done. And I think this year with the Park Service, they've got 30 projects across the state at different state parks where they're putting in, installing fire lines, doing mechanical fuel reduction. So it's been a pretty good program and helping out folks with that. So for the certified burner review, just go over the basic stuff. So how many folks are here because you got a yellow letter from me in January? Okay, good. So that means that everybody else is here just because you want to be here, and that's even better. So if you're, obviously if you're a certified burner, you're getting your letters. If you have an email address in our system, I'm sending it to that. They are color coded. Green is good. Don't call me, please. Yellow means that you need to do some work, either attend a class or do some more burning. And what's important for that is, keep your contact information current so I can get the information to you. I got one, it was the weirdest thing. So I think it was Monday, I got a returned envelope. I'd send somebody a certification. They got certified, and I sent them the certification, their certificate with their wallet card and the decals. And it was a return to sender, and I get those periodically. The problem with this one is I had mailed it in December and I got it Monday. So the mail system can be a little slow sometimes. So keep that in mind. If you don't get your letter, call me and we'll see what's going on. Also important when you're doing your burning that you let us know that you want it to be a certified burn, because if you don't mark it as certified, then it won't count toward maintaining your certification. And I get that call a lot too, like, well, I got a yellow letter, but I did all these burns. So I look it up and sometimes they don't get checked as certified. And the certification status of your burn authorization, that can be remedied by using our online system for requesting the web OBA. You check that box yourself, and that will ensure that your burns get marked as certified. So talking about web OBA, this is the web OBA interface. You can get a lot of information from logging into web OBA. One of the things you can do for sure is you can check your status. So if you look there at the top, it'll tell you what year your burning and your education is good through. You also can go in and update your contact information. So if you've recently moved or you're with an agency that changes email addresses every few years like ours, you can update that stuff. So this is the information that I use to send out those status letters. Another thing you can do, I don't have a slide for it, but I see if it's on there. Yeah, so if you look there near the top right, it says check burn restrictions. So you can log into the system, click the check burn restrictions, and it's got the counties listed alphabetically. You can choose the county that you're interested in, and it will pull up the restrictions for that county for that day. So you can look in the morning and see if they're even issuing in your county before you get too far along. For those of you that work in an office and don't do a lot of burning themselves, but they participate a lot, you can use the certified burn participation log to submit your burning. That will allow you to maintain your certification that way. I know it happens a lot on state forests. We'll have 10 or 15 people that are certified to burn, and it's like, I call it STP. It's the same 3 people or the same 2 people that get all the burn authorizations. So if you find yourself in that situation, I always tell people to try and do at least 1 certified burn a year yourself. That way you can be sure and have enough to maintain your status. Let's see. Just some general things to remember. Your prescription is a legal document. Rick was talking about lawyers looking at that and picking them apart and have conflicting objectives. That's a good point. If something goes wrong, as a certified burner, you have legal protections in Florida, but your protection is that prescription. So if your prescription is poorly written, or it's missing information, or the information on it doesn't make sense or doesn't fit in what standard burning practices are, then it's probably not going to be a lot of protection for you. So make sure that it's all complete, the information makes sense, it's signed and dated, you got all the stuff on there that you need. And I think Rick even said that we're all in this together. So we are. And so being able to continue to use fire as a tool, it depends on all of us to use it responsibly and, minimize those impacts, make sure we are doing the correct things with our burns. So we can continue to enjoy the ability to use fire the way we do now. So not to be too much of a downer there. So we do have some upcoming events. Prescribed Fire Awareness Week every year starts on the fourth Saturday or fourth Sunday in January. And so this year it bleeds over into February. And at the same time on that February 3rd, the last day of Prescribed Fire Awareness Week, there will be the Red Hills Fire Festival at Tall Timbers. They're just north of Tallahassee. So you're all more than welcome to come to that. Should be a good time. Hopefully we'll have some live fire at that. We usually try to do live fire for those folks. And maybe some Bradley sausage. If you're familiar with Bradley sausage, it's pretty good. I do have one update. Does anybody here have any problems with the smoke screening tool working lately? Yeah, are you using Chrome as a browser? Yeah, so this happened, I think like maybe Monday, or it's very recent. They did something different. You can use Chrome, but you've got to go in and make our site a trusted site. So I'm not that much into computers, but apparently it's just an HTTP site, not an HTTPS, which the S means secure. So it thinks it's not a secure site, so that you have to adjust your browser to use it. But if you're using Edge or Firefox, or like something like I think DuckDuckGo will run it. But if you're on Chrome and you get an error, try Edge or a different browser. And if that doesn't work, go in and set that site as a trusted site. And don't ask me how to do that, because our IT guys sent us some pictures of Chrome on how to do it, and I couldn't get my Chrome to look like those Chrome pictures, so I don't even know how to do it. So, but that is a problem, and I think they put a message on the website for it. So if you go to the smoke screening tool website, there's a blurb there. But if you've got a bookmark for it, like I can't get it to work on my phone because I have an Android phone. I'm not sure if it works in Safari or not if you're trying to do it on your phone. But my phone just has Chrome, and I can't get the smoke screening tool to work on it. So that's the problem if you're having with that. Like I said, try a different browser, or if you know how to do it, go in and make it a trusted site, and that should work for you. And that's all I got. But too many times. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of new stuff. We do got some stuff we're working on, and I've learned over the years not to talk about stuff we're working on because sometimes it doesn't work out. So, but if everything works out, I'll have a lot to talk about at the next meeting. So.
Yeah, we can't mention that company called Skynet he's working with. Something.
But one thing I can mention, which is going to happen, is we do have a new software that we're using for our fire dispatch. We were using FEMIS, which is what we use now for issuing burn authorizations. We switched over to a thing called Fire Response, and we will be transitioning our burn authorizations to that. But I'm not sure on the time frame. So, but within the next year, we'll have that in place. So it'll be just a different interface, and hopefully it will work.
Anyone have questions for John? Raise your hand. Now's your chance. Florida Forest Service right here.
Yeah, and I'm going to stick around, I think, for a little bit on lunch, but I've got to get back to Tallahassee this afternoon, so I'll be leaving shortly after lunch.
Was that a question or a sneak?
That was a compliment. That was one of the better compliments I've gotten. I appreciate that.
Mr. Anderson up front.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anderson.
I'm curious about do you still provide that Florida Forest Service prescribed burn template?
You mean the burn plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a blank burn plan on our site. Yes.
Yeah, those things are actually excellent, especially coming out of the Fed world of 21 element burn plans. And I just wanted to share with you, we stole that from you guys, and now Mexico, Central America, and Brazil. We just translated it.
That's good.
That's the standard burn plan in that part of the world. So
Okay. So those that might not have heard online, Rick was saying that they've taken our burn plan template and he's brought that down into South America, South and Central America for them to use. And that's great. And, you know, if you look across the country, and Zach can attest this because he's on the coalition of councils, you know, Florida is being copied in a lot of ways. Not just the councils, but the laws and stuff that we have here in Florida are being copied by other states to implement their councils and their burn program. So we're pretty proud of that we're kind of, you know, in the forefront of what's going on with burning.
yeah, thanks for the heavy lifting.
Yeah, it was all in place when I got here, so yeah, we're good.
Anyone have any question for John from this side? Joe, anything on that? Nothing online. John has answered every single question anyone could potentially have, which is quite amazing, actually.
It's the same stuff every time. It really is.
And we appreciate that, you know, continuity.
Yeah.
John's just a wonderful.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. I've anticipated everything and included already in the presentation. All right, thank you guys.
Oh, wait, Brett, did you say?
I have a smoke question about air quality and smoke time. Forest Service, FHP, and the agency are contracted to permit. If you need help for smoke pollution on the roadway,
All right, so the question is, if you need assistance on a burn, if you're burning and there's potential smoke issues or there are smoke issues, you want to put signs up, what do you do? So it can kind of depend. So if it's if it's a state road, you can contact our office and they can help you what's going on locally because they might have some different contacts. You know, if it's a serious issue and it's a state highway, FHP will send some folks out and actually monitor that, as in they'll be out there in their cruisers. DOT can put signs out, you know, if it happens to be that they're at work at that time, you know, if it's regular hours. If it's a county road, you might contact the sheriff's office for your county. So I would contact the local office, the same number you called, to get your authorization, because they might have, you know, different things in place based on the county that you're in and the road.
one reason why I bring that up is because we have a lot more roads than they had 20 years ago.
Yeah.
How do you stay protected of road losses? Reliable, put out the warning sign that you're supposed to.
So,
you make your phone call. Where is the jurisdiction?
yeah, so the question is, you know, liability and jurisdiction for putting out signs. I know in the past there's been like if you put out a sign, a warning sign on the road, you know, that's a whole, and I don't know all the rules, but there are rules for signs that you put out, and you know, they've got to be certain size and you have to have certain reflectivity and the letters have to be this size. You know, and I say, well, when I go by a logging operation, this guy's just got a dirty old orange sign that says log trucks entering the highway. You know, why can't we put out a sign that says that? And, you know, there's been a lot of, this is a very political answer because I'm not going to give you an actual answer. So, yeah, I mean, and like I said, I don't know the answer because, you know, we've had DOT people tell us like, well, yeah, you cannot put those signs out because they don't meet, you know, this regulation. So, you know, and it's not just the sign, it's how far is it from the road, how high is it off the ground. You know, there's so many different things for an official sign that needs to be out there. So, you know, calling FHP, DOT, or the local sheriff, you know, to let them know there's an issue, that would be my recommendation. Or call our office and they would have some guidance on what's going on in that particular area.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks for the non-answer.
Anyone else have any question for John? That's a great one. Anyone else?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.